Now, what about the workforce? I mean, obviously, we're seeing this in so many companies and businesses, from restaurants. But when it comes to education, there's this unprecedented workforce crisis happening, Ashley. So, how do you get the resources to make sure that you have those quality people?
I couldn't agree more. So, in America, we need to start funding what we value. So in the past, we've funded what we value, and that wasn't education. It's never received top billing. Pandemic, we see this infusion of ARP funds and ESSER 3 times. And so now districts have unprecedented funds to kind of catch up, right, from that lack of funding for decades. And at the same time, though, right, like over that same period of 20, 30, 40 years, we've piled on and changed the role of being a teacher and not followed and seen who's leaving and why. So, first comes first is we need data. Just like Dr. Zwicky was saying, when we talk about our student learning, we need data when we talk about the workforce. We need projections. We need to start valuing our own workforce just as much as every other high need, high impact industry. I think some of those terms that governors like to use when they invest in certain industries, they are excluding education every time. But ironically, when you don't invest in education, you are not producing future computer engineers, future HVAC engineer. You're not producing your future workers when you don't have teachers in the classroom. So when you inadvertently exclude education, you're also hurting your long-term GDP and your growth and economic potential as a state. So so that was a lot, but the solutions, right?
No, but it's true. And it was funny because, you were just saying about the data. I took a look at some of the national data out there. I wanted to see what is the sentiment that's going on. I found 12% of teachers, just 12%, consider themselves very satisfied. 40% fairly likely to leave the profession in the next 2 years, Dr. Zwicky. So you look at that and you say, uh-oh.
So yeah, it is uh-oh. And Ashley's point, this isn't new stuff. This was Ronald Reagan said all this in A Nation at Risk. So like 1981, we started this conversation, but I've never seen educators, teachers, administrators leaving, before they've hit their pension years before, but they are. And I can tell you at the superintendent level, I have a running joke when I go to organizational meetings. I'm like, we're the only people left because we don't have 25 years. But anyone who hits 25 years is gone. There is a superintendent brain drain, and there are openings everywhere. But then it's also at the principal level and it's at the teacher level, and particularly where we need specializations, like in special ed, our reading specialists, and for some of our advanced college classes too.